Welcome to USMLE SARTI. We are committed to empowering IMGs. We're excited to guide you on your match journey. Don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications so you can get notified whenever we add new content. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter for the latest tips and tricks regarding everything USMLE. Now, let's dive into it.
All right. Just like last year, and there are going to be changes every year in ERAS application. And last year was the year where the ERAS application had made significant changes, and that created sort of an uproar, a lot of feedback and all that stuff. And some of you may be new applicants, some of you are repeat applicants. So this section is equally relevant to all of you. So in the 2024-2025 session, that is a current session, the ERAS has made more changes to the application, which I think is relevant to all of you. And even though there are a considerable number of changes, you should note that these are predominantly minor in nature. Okay? So just like the last year, there will not be a supplemental ERAS application for the 2024-2025 cycle. Okay, so for two ERAS application cycles, the AAMC, they kind of enhanced and researched and refined new ERAS content with using and supplemental ERAS application. But then moving forward, just like last year, applicants and advisors, like they can expect that the content of the ERAS application do not have an actual supplemental application. But what is important to note is that there are components of the supplemental application in your main ERAS application, just like last year. Okay, so it's much more complicated, but in a way, it is a overall shorter shorter kind of application than the years before. Okay, I'll explain more about it. So speaking of the first change, and some of these changes will not, it's insignificant, but I need to mention this because for completion's sake. So your ACLS, one of the main things is ACLS, PALS, and BLS certificate information. And note that whether you have the certification or not, it does not really matter in terms of your match success. But if you have it, now these questions are removed from the personal information section and they've been added to the licenses and certificate section. The other, the AOA and Gold Humanism Society and all these things are not really applicable for international graduates. But if these are applicable to you, these are not in the previous personal information section. These are now under the honors and awards subsection in the education subsection. Okay, but again, like I said, these things do not have a significant role in your match success as an IMG. The next thing is language fluency. I know a lot of people have confusion about what to put for language frequency. Do I put advanced? Do I put native or near native and whatever? This year, they've made it slightly more simple, where do you know how to, can you speak English, or do you meet the advanced level of proficiency in English? Yes or no? That's it. So they're not really asking you to categorize yourself as native, non-native, or whatever. Essentially, can you communicate in English effectively or not? Other self-identification, like there's expanded ethnicity category and subcategories. Hometowns, previously, I think there were options to put up to 5 now hometowns. Now it's shorter and up to 3, which I think is better. And just to explain what the language fluency section looked like, essentially all you have to click is, do you meet or exceed the advanced level of proficiency? And you would click yes. There's an option to select all the other languages but that's not important. That's not required. Okay. After language fluency, we talked about the education section. And this is important because every year we have people who have done some sort of educational courses or some sort of home country residencies or other courses. And a lot of times it's hard to put that on the ERAS CV because there is no specific section. Here it says that they've replaced the institution open text field with menus, and you have a write-in option so you can manually enter multiple fields of study. So I'm hoping that this section could be used for whatever home country residencies or home country courses or other degrees that you've obtained in your home country that would not have been possible in your previous ERAS application. This, I think, is a big change and something that we can leverage to make sure your experiences and your education would be highlighted in the new ERAS application. Okay. Honors and awards, it's just a new subsection, but it's pretty much the same. Professional memberships are under honors and awards this time. So it doesn't show up initially in the education section. So those are minor changes. Another important change is medical education section is moved to the actual education section. It's not in a separate section anymore. The next part is, I think, the most impactful for residents or applicants for this year is your hobbies and interests section have come back. So previously, last year, hobbies and interests, that was a separate section in the experience section. So for example, you were allowed to put 10 major experiences in the experience section, and you would have to sort of sacrifice one of those sections to add your hobbies and interests. This year, we're back to our original method where hobbies and interests were a separate section, and you can add that and highlight that section. And that is very important, especially for international graduates who are trying to stand out, or if you're trying to showcase your very many talents, it's very helpful to have that as a separate section. It's 300 characters, so it's not a big paragraph, but it is still a separate section that can be highlighted and not hidden in the experience section. License and certification. Many times these do not matter for international graduates, like I said before. Board certifications. Remember, your international board certifications, your international medical registration and all that stuff, they do not apply here. So you don't have to put any of those things here. Okay. These are specifically if you have done a previous residency here in the US, or you've done a preliminary year or PGY1 here and you're applying again or something like that. Otherwise, this section is not relevant for any of you. The publication section has, the citation style has been replaced, essentially moving from this part where, you had, the APA style where you had period after each initial and the number and the year and all that stuff. But now it's much cleaner and, no period and no additional stuff. And the name of the journal is, abbreviated format, and the DOI is as a DOI and not as a actual web address. So just minor changes, and this format is again mentioned on your ERAS application, so you can just type it exactly like the format. So it's going to be easy. Or you could definitely just go to PubMed and change it to AMA style, and then you can copy paste that. That also works.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope that video provided valuable insights for your journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our website for details on how we can guide you to a successful match.